Welcome back to the Samantha Parker Show. Hey, I'm your host, Samantha. Let's dive on in. Welcome back to the Samantha Parker Show. Today, I am thrilled to be bringing you Wendy Bunnell. Wendy, you're a big deal here in St. George.
I'm a big deal.
We're all big deals.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm a big deal.
You're a big deal. You're doing something
Totally.
that puts yourself out there.
Yeah.
You have to put yourself out there. People might even be like, what the hell is she doing?
A lot of people are like, what is she doing?
I have mad respect for people that are willing to do that.
Thank you.
So I'm excited to have you on the podcast. We're in person today. That always makes me happy.
Yes, I'm excited to be here. Looking forward to this and to having our discussion because when I'm around you, I love people who will go there with me, go like into that deep discussion and really go to the heart of the matter and be authentic and be transparent. And you're one of those people. So I'm ready to do this.
Awesome. I say it all the time. I heal out loud. And sometimes I catch myself apologizing for it. But I don't know. I'm like, how are you supposed to show up? And how are you supposed to keep doing these things if you're only willing to show up when you're like crispy?
Yes.
When you're like a fresh, crispy Diet Coke. I'm not today.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, I'm not today. I'm a warm leftover.
I think you're a beautiful, warm leftover. And here's the thing. I feel the more we can be authentic and vulnerable, it gives permission to other people to do it as well. This human life is messy and beautiful. It's beautifully messy, right?
Yes.
And I love emotions. So if there is an emotional place that happens, okay, so I'm a Cancer. That should tell you right now. The emotion is there. And then I'm Pisces, so I feel everything extra.
I'm a Pisces.
Right? Oh, yeah. So you know, you and I know. Highest of the highs, the lowest of the lows. We feel it all. You know what? Bring on the emotions. That's what I say.
Wendy is a transformational advocate, a best-selling author, a TEDx speaker, and the creator of Taking the Weird Out of Woo. Should we start there?
Sure.
Is taking the weird out of woo.
Normalizing or the goal is to normalize non-traditional ways of healing. We say healing beyond the mainstream, one episode at a time. So basically, we're bringing someone who's run out of options. They're trying to improve some area of their life. Could be relationship, could be health, could be emotional well-being, whatever. And they have run out of options in the mainstream. And now they're getting brave and curious, but there's a lot of resistance. So we call them skeptics, right? Because typically it's someone who's, I would never have considered doing this before. We call it woo sometimes, but I'm willing to do it because I'm willing to see outside of this lens, this box that I've been living in order to improve my life. And so we showcase this. We take our skeptic, we pair them with an expert, and we go have an experience. And we have a great time going through it. We become curious and playful. It's really beautiful. I love it. It's just brought so much abundance in my life. Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's go back to the genesis of Taking the Weird Out of Woo. Like, really, what inspired you to launch it? Because, okay, so let's be tactical here. So Taking the Weird Out of Woo is a YouTube show.
Yes.
Airs, like you guys do a live premiere every week?
We paused and slowed down in the summer, but starting in September, every single week.
So far, I've seen you bring in guests. One of my friends, Jenny, she's been on the podcast.
Yes.
She was talking about somatic therapy. Were you guys talking about ketamine?
Ketamine and somatic therapy.
I was
and
just going to say, you guys were
them.
talking about drugs.
Combining them. Yeah.
I was like, no, that wasn't it.
And learning to use that window of opportunity where the gatekeeper is quieted down to start moving some of that trauma in the body, start moving some of the emotional residue, so to speak, so that we can start to feel better.
Yeah, and then I saw you did an episode with the horse whisperer guy. That's just what I call him.
Yes, he is the horse whisperer, West Taylor. He's amazing. And what a fun episode. Just watching this woman who won't slow down for anything. How many of us out there think that we have to constantly be busy, right? And we're always serving other people. And yet, when you listen to Kim, who is a skeptic, say, I'm just so exhausted. And that she was actually jealous of the horse, that the horse had no responsibilities. But she doesn't realize she can have the same life. She can have the same thing. It's just that we're programmed to see things. And even our nervous system is wired to keep us doing the same thing day in and day out. And so she learned from the horse how to get out of that cycle.
I saw one of his horse demos.
Yeah.
Is that what does he call them? I saw one of them live.
Lessons through horses.
I went to this horse and he did this live demonstration. I don't know what he called everything. I just was taking it all in.
Yeah.
It was really fascinating.
To see our human behavior and how our brain works through the horse. The horse can't be a villain in our story. We actually receive that information. If someone were to say that to us, we might become defensive. You don't know my life. You don't know what I go through. But you look at it with a horse, and the horse doesn't have a prefrontal cortex. They're not analyzing this. They're doing what their behavior is. Like they're using that primitive brain, which catches us and stops us every time we're trying to move forward. So we learn from the horse, and we also learn how the horse can get through that. Now we know how to get through it.
So basically what you guys are doing is you're taking a concept like someone hearing how they relate to a horse, they might be skeptical. And so you're bringing in people that are skeptical of that experience. And then you're basically creating a YouTube show that shows people that there's a different alternative.
Yes. And usually the skeptic, you're going to start hearing, especially in future episodes, the direct reason why they're even doing it. Like, why are they even there? Why does it even matter? Because there's always a why. People, it could be a fun experience. Let's go on film, blah, blah, blah. But typically the skeptic that I invite on the show, there is a desired outcome, right? And they've tried other things. So now they're looking at this opportunity, and it might be quote unquote woo. We're going to have a medium here pretty soon. You're going to start seeing different flavors of healing. Why would we use a medium? Because it can help you with grief and loss and give you more clarity. How many of us are dealing with grief and loss? A medium could help you if you get out of the stereotyping. Yeah, it's a great, I don't know if you can hear it. This lights me up.
Your passion is very evident. The conviction in this is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I just wanted to explain exactly what it was so that people listening had some context. So it's it's a YouTube show. You talk a lot like me. I'm like, ooh, and then that's fun. And then we could go on this tangent. It's a YouTube show where you guys explore different woo concepts and try to take the weird out of them.
Yes, exactly. And the validity and the credibility and even the science behind it, so that if someone is looking to improve their life, they're like, oh my gosh, so-and-so looks just like me. She's a regular person. She's not like a hippie with dreadlocks, even though I love them too. They're amazing. They're my friends. But I don't have to look like this to try and utilize something that could be very, very helpful in my life.
I sometimes will make jokes. I'm like, I'm a hippie, but I like to shower. And
I call myself a classy hippie, and I think you are too.
I'm into so many of these things, but I'm not going to go live in a van.
Yeah, exactly. And the people who want to live in a van, that's awesome too.
I think they're awesome. I'm like, that's really cool.
Guts.
I'm all, can I come see it?
Takes guts. I can't live that lifestyle though. I choose something else.
Yes. Okay. Now that we understand what it is, when did you have the idea for this show?
Okay. So the idea came in December. I was going through a very, very stretchy, I call it a stretchy time. A lot of things were changing in my life. And I just said, I need some joy. I am willing to go through this process. Of course, I mean, it wasn't really, it's a requirement. Didn't really have a choice in that. But please bring me some joy. Give me something to work on that's going to bring me joy. I had a dream that night. I remembered the dream, which is very unusual. Actually, it made sense, right? Those are two things that usually my dreams don't have. So the next day I shared it with my husband, and we laughed the whole day. We were coming up with all sorts. It was going to be a little more pranky to begin with because he's a Gemini. He loves to just have fun. And so that was the way it started. I was asked to pause it while I went out of the country for a while. And when I came back, it was just like this process, it was just the breadcrumb. I just kept following the breadcrumbs until June 4th when it launched. So that's how the project was brought into form. But I'm sure 10 years prior to that, my own life was preparatory for me to have this show because this is my life.
Okay, so from idea to execution, I think a lot of times we get like these really big ideas, and especially where you were looking to do something that was going to really just shove you out there. You know, you want more people to see it, you want more exposure. Did you ever have these moments where you were like, no, let's take it back?
I'm going to go back a few years because I was ready for this. I was ready to go out and be visible. I can recall my first conference 7 years ago when I first got myself to be okay to be on a stage. When I first decided I was going to do something and use my gift of communication to help people improve their lives. And now here's the thing. Whenever you start a project, even this project, there are going to be times where it's going to be messy. Those are the times that you are going to want to take it back. And I think that's what you're referring to, right? There were times where all of my projects, whether they were conferences or the festival, the Healing Arts Festival that I help ignite into this world, or this project, it's not this beautiful, usually, I haven't seen it with anybody, this just paved road to success. It is, if you're in a river, you're going down tributaries you didn't even know existed. And you're like, I sure hope that we all get to the ocean. There's such a level of trust. So yes, there were times where I was like, ooh, I just started something more massive than I've ever taken on. This is its own energy, its own entity, and there's no closing it down now. I felt like that for sure. But I also trust the process enough at this point. It's taken me 10 years to get to this part of my journey. And that has been a messy process, but I am finding so much joy from this.
What I want people to realize, like listening to this, is it's fucking messy.
It's so messy.
Yes.
It's ridiculously messy.
And people a lot of times just see this finished product. So maybe they see the person with 1 million views online or 1 million followers. I was going to say 1 million views. We can all do that. But I know
I'm
you
ready
can.
for that.
Yeah. I'm like, I've been there. But they see it with 1 million followers, or they see the success, or they look up to. I think what we've all been missing is that disgusting place.
The messy middle?
The messy middle, that disgusting place. But we all just chose to keep showing up.
100%. And just trusting the process. I think that's the biggest thing that I've been able to evolve into, because let me tell you how hard I made a lot of my projects.
So we're having like not really that big of a tech issues, just some lights and some weird things, and our recorder just died, but it's fine now. Wendy, before we started the podcast, was telling me that for one of the episodes, they summoned spirits in the top floor of our office building, and I think she needs to be held responsible for what she's done.
I kid you not. I did this. It was an episode about a medium, and we're doing the stereotypical thing that people think, right?
Yeah.
And so I've got a turban on my head. I've got a crystal ball in front of me. I had a crystal ball. And I was doing Flo came out in my first episode, and she loves to play. So we were out there summoning the spirits. And within 2 minutes of stopping the recording of that, my husband texts me, do we have a ghost in the house? So apparently I'm way more powerful than I even know I am.
If you're going to summon spirits, you also need to energetically close it off.
Close the portal. Now we are closing the portal to this spirit realm.
Perfect.
So let's bring a little bit more stability to our lights and no more technical stuff. Let's see if I can powerfully manifest that now.
Okay.
Right, cool.
But really, though,
Wow.
if they have, I'm going to drop an anonymous note and be like, Wendy Bunnell opened a portal and you guys need to talk to her.
That'd be so funny. They'll be like, Wendy, we need to have a discussion.
We've had some complaints.
I'll be like, I know who that complaint came from.
That bitch.
I'm taking her down.
In this process of all these woo things, because I know you've always been in that world. You do the retreats. I know that you've played in that world for a long time. I don't know, what world would you call it? The awakened world?
The wicked world.
No, awakened.
Oh, awakened.
Awakened.
The wicked world. I'm like, wow.
Now I'm going to throw holy water on you. No. I'm not that way. The like awakened world, just spiritual.
Yeah.
You played in that for a long time. But
You would be surprised. I have not actually.
You haven't?
No, I have not.
You've been doing it at least for 10 years.
Okay, so I've been in the personal development, coaching, mentoring world, business world for a decade. I have been in the woo world I was doing. There were things about my life that started to unfold. At 11 years old, I'm a LDS Mormon girl down in my basement doing yoga. Oh. Nobody knows how to do yoga in my house.
I knew you were wicked.
I was like already doing this thing. And then as I got older, I naturally wanted my kids in Montessori instead of regular school. I just didn't buy into that system. It didn't make any sense to me. I was always a system rebel. I'd always question things like, why are we doing it that way? That just doesn't make any sense, right? Like, why are we doing weddings like this? And we've got all these people and I'm shaking hands with people. I don't even care. Why aren't we just having a big dance party? And funerals, why are we doing this? Why don't we do a celebration of life? We're all bawling.
If anyone's ever been to a Mormon funeral, it's a trip, right? I didn't know this was not a thing until I heard some people talking about it. But yeah, it's a little trippy.
It is very trippy.
My grandpa passed away like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. And they do the open casket. The Mormons do the open casket thing, which is odd. But they do this display and everyone comes through. You stand in a line and you look at the said dead person. But my sister...
And you're saying this and I'm like, oh, that is odd. I didn't know.
Right.
I was raised with this. I didn't think it was odd.
Yeah.
They thought what I was wanting to do was odd.
But so my sister was perplexed. And finally she pulls me aside and she goes, why do they have a bonnet on Grandpa's head? And I'm like, no, that's his temple. These are his temple clothes. And she's, oh my God, is that what's going on? She's, I thought they had him dressed up like a girl. And I'm like, no, these are his afterlife celestial clothes.
Yeah. I think it's so fascinating how we all view life differently. But basically, I agree with you. All of these things, I love that we're squirreling all over the place because this is how I like to talk. Like, it's awesome. But I'm watching myself. I have a home birth. My family is like, what are you doing?
That's baller.
What are you doing?
That's
and the
next
reason
level.
why I had a home birth was because I had a stillborn because there was a medication that the doctor said my husband was perfectly fine taking while we were trying to get pregnant, and it caused birth defects, and my baby was born with birth defects. And so I started to go, these doctors don't know as much as I do about my body. Why am I giving my power away to someone who doesn't even live in my body? So it didn't make any sense. So I started to do these things, but I was all into the religion of my upbringing until about 5 years ago. COVID was the most beautiful gift. It was a gift with a little bow on it that just said, now you can hear yourself. Because you're away from the external noise, because you're all alone, right? Not all alone, but very few people. And you're in nature all the time, because that's the only freaking thing we could do, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm in nature and I'm quiet and I'm listening. And then when I go back to church, I'm like, why is my body responding like this? And they put me in leadership positions because that's what they always did. And I'm going to teach classes. I'm like, I can't teach this. Like, I legit cannot teach this. So it really wasn't until September of 21 that I handed my keys to the building, literally handed the keys to the bishop and said, I can't come back.
I am super surprised by this.
I have totally redesigned my life. It's been, so when I say, like, when I'm talking about my life now, I have done so much unraveling for my own identity to be here. My self-worth is not tied in what I do anymore. My self-worth isn't tied into pleasing this being that has certain conditions. I am whole and complete as I am. Even my children never bought into it, by the way. I was the most manipulative woman trying to get everybody lassoed into that church because it was my divine...
And their eternal salvation depended on it.
Theirs and mine. And so when I finally let that go, my intimacy with my family is so different. There's nothing they need to change. There isn't a single thing. I delight in the differences of my children. I love my super eccentric pothead son in Denver. Like, I love him so much. He grows magic mushrooms. He is the most delightful human, so eccentric, right? And I love my delightful daughter who has free range children. She just lets them design their own life. And I watch her and I'm like, you are such a great mother. And then I have another girl that is all about justice in this world. And she takes this anger and this feistiness and she makes changes in the world. And then my son is this creative genius. So I just look at them and they're like, Mom, I finally don't feel like I have to live up to your expectations anymore. You just love me. And I'm like, that's what unconditional love is supposed to be. That's what I think we were taught. But we weren't given an example of what that looked like. We're given a set of rules and to-dos. And society does it too. So it's not just religion. It's all the way across the board. You're supposed to do life like this. And I finally said, fuck that. Yeah. I'm not doing life like this. I'm going to listen to me. I'm going to listen to my internal voice. And that's really what taking the weird out of woo is. Part of it is the skeptic is learning to listen to their internal voice. I don't care if they like the experience or not. It's not about the experience. It's not about the tool. It's about finding their wholeness. Maybe that tool can help them get there. maybe their experience will open something up in them, a portal, and then they'll finally get to a place where they accept that whole version of themselves. And when we're in that whole version of ourselves, then we literally are reminded that we cannot mess this life up. And I know that we have experiences that may bring up the story that we've somehow screwed it up. We can't screw this life up. And we forget about our wholeness. We forget about the fact that we are not breakable.
That was beautiful.
You're welcome.
I have like tears in my eyes listening to you. Thank you for sharing all of that.
You're welcome.
I would have absolutely thought that you had broke away from Mormonism like years and years ago. But in the short span that you've been in this woo world, what in this project has surprised you the most?
Surprised.
Or is there anything you learned that has blown your mind open?
I would just say that almost every single episode is designed in the divine timing I needed it. Every single episode, every single one was right in alignment. Last week, I went to an art healing retreat, a transformational art healing retreat. I don't consider myself an artist at all. Okay, because I think art, drawing, no. In that process, to learn to not give up on myself through my portrait, I needed that to help me with what I just told you about, surrendering and being okay with trusting the process. I got to see how many times in my life I was ready to give up on something because it didn't look like I thought it should look. And trusting each phase of the project. I'll show you my photos of the before and after. My project, when it first started, was ruined. Even the expert was kind of like, you could tell, she was like, it was falling apart. It was coming off my canvas like tissue paper.
It was like when a kid makes you a Cheerio necklace, you're like, wow.
Yeah, exactly. You could see the pause and them looking at it like, and you can almost, like she's inside going, holy hell, I have no idea how she's going to do this. But she's amazing as this guide. And she could hear the story in her head for a second, and then she paused and she goes, it's exactly what it's supposed to be. So she even came back to that, but it just felt like she was looking at it going, wow, this is going to be interesting how this is going to be evolving. But she trusted it, which allowed me to trust it. So every single episode has been directly in alignment with what I personally needed.
It's crazy how that works out, huh?
Yeah. So that's the biggest surprise.
Yeah. Just this conversation today, I was like, oh, this is exactly what I needed to hear in this exact moment.
The universe has our backs if we will just notice it. Instead of noticing all the bad stuff, if we can start noticing what miracles are arriving in our life, we'll start shifting our vision and the way we perceive life as this beautiful playground we get to create and be in curiosity and love, just like a little kid. Can you imagine if all of us woke up to the brilliance inside of us? Now we're collaborating, we're not competing. Because why would I want to bring you down? I want you to come up with me. Can you imagine when we see the whole version of ourselves, each and every one of us, this world's going to be completely different. And I know that people are like, you're like so Pollyanna. No, I see it. I see it happening. Will it be a time of evolvement? Sure. And there's going to be a segment of the population that's going to say, no, I like this chaotic life and I'm not really willing to look at my shit and I don't want to take responsibility for my life. And so I'm just going to stay right here. I'm going to work 3 jobs. I'm never going to see my kids. I'm going to always complain about money. I'm never going to go on a trip. And they can live their life like that. That's okay. That's their journey. I'm not living my life like that. Are you going to live your life like that?
I don't think so. I try not to live my life like that.
I prefer to just love life and enjoy this life to the fullest.
Yeah, I like to look at things when I'm not feeling lit up in a certain area of my life because I come into my office, I love what I do. I get so excited. I told you, I was like, I'm not having the best day. And I was like, maybe I should stay home. And I was like, no, I need to come in and do this because I love this. This is where I love being. Yeah. And I've noticed home at night, like I feel like just contentious. Is that the word? I get over, we're doing dinner again. I don't understand that concept. I haven't embraced it. Who the hell wants
I know exactly what you're saying. I hate getting gas in my car.
Yes.
Like, seriously?
Like, again?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
right?
Like we do this every day till we die. My son is going to want more food because he's starving to death.
I love saying that because it's so true. That is the hardest question of the day. What are we going to eat? Oh my gosh, what a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And I'm always like, why is this my responsibility?
No, it's not your responsibility.
No, but I've noticed that. And so when I notice things, and it's that self-awareness piece, when I start to notice it, I'm like, why is this making me not happy? Honestly, I'm one of those people too, where I'm like, happy doesn't have to be the baseline. Oh, you just got diagnosed with cancer. You better be happy. It's no. But I do not want to feel like I don't want to be there. I'm like, oh, let's shift some things. And how can we do this differently?
I love that. So you're just a solution provider.
Oh,
you'll find, maybe you get, hire a chef.
Yes.
Come in and make you 2 weeks of freezer meals. Done. Problem solved.
I'm just more of, I need it to be simple. Like last night, I just made us steak quesadillas. We had leftover steak quesadillas, and that was it.
Look at you.
And that's what I always say to my husband. I'm like, why does it have to
Wow.
be such a big deal? We don't need all these things. You could just eat the steak quesadilla and move on.
If it were just me at home and not my partner with me, my husband of 36 years, I would get the hummus and chips out, or the hummus and carrots.
That's
and
girl
that
dinner.
Would be,
You know
that
that's
would
girl dinner,
literally
right?
be my dinner.
Yeah.
And I would be 100% okay. Throw in some fruit. I'm good.
You know what the girlies on TikTok call that, right?
What?
Girl dinner.
I love that.
It's girl dinner.
It is.
Yes.
Like, I am a pretty simple eater. Like, I'm like, oh, let's get an apple. When there's some almond butter, I'll dip it in the almond butter. Oh, meal.
Yeah. It does not work for the boys, though.
Oh, my gosh.
My 14-year-olds, always starving. Always.
I know. It's crazy. Like, I have a 21-year-old, and I'm like, hasn't lived with me for a bit, but he's going to come back just for a couple of months. And I'm choosing not to be that codependent helicopter mom. That was my go-to identity for a long time. And I'm saying, nope, he gets to feed himself. That is not my job.
They require a lot of food.
And they wanted deluxe and gourmet.
My son, he's just growing. It's a growing boy thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, oh, this is exhausting. But we'll make it. The dude gets his, steak and his chicken. Don't worry, guys. But
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's
But yeah,
awesome.
some days I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Awesome. I love it. I love these funny little questions we have.
I grew up, like, my parents were never together, right? Eventually, so I'm 10 years older than both of my sisters and 12 years older than my brother. But I grew up, I lived primarily with my mom and just my one sister. And so I never experienced this, like, boys eat a lot. And my husband comes from a family of 5. There's 4 boys. And the first time I went over and had Sunday dinner with them, I about fell out of my chair and died. I've never seen so much food, and I've never seen it just disappear so fast. I did wait for the prayer, but then it was gone. This is my first experience feeding a growing teenage boy.
Oh, good luck.
You make it through, and then they're adults.
Yeah.
And then they hate you.
The only thing you can guarantee is that instead of a college fund, you should do a therapy fund, because every child is going to need some sort of healing based on the fact that they got traumatized by their parents. So
That's actually really smart, because I do have my oldest daughter in therapy, and we had an HSA fund.
there you go. See,
Yeah.
you did it.
I did it.
That's awesome.
Look at me. I did
See,
something right.
Look at you. Did a lot of things
Oh,
right,
no,
sister. I would say you're doing life pretty dang good.
Yes. No, I have a great life. I just got back from a really cool event I went to this weekend. It was like Powerhouse Women, and I took my daughter. That was really fun.
You're a powerhouse, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
How fun.
Yeah. And I loved having my daughter there so she could see women doing really big things. I think
Yeah.
that's important.
Absolutely. See, you're a good mom.
Oh, I don't think I'm a bad mom.
There's just moments when it hurts.
And sometimes I think we just want a different path for our kids. You're like, oh, I'm sorry, that's the path you're going through. But then I also look at my oldest daughter, my son, he's still 14. I feel like he's still just going to middle school and doing his thing. But I look at her and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's figured out so much, and she's only 20.
I know. Kids are.
What's she going to do with all this? Because the things that she's figuring out, I figured out at 39.
I see that with all of this new generation is just taking my breath away. It's amazing how brilliant and intelligent and compassionate they are, and how they're looking at things and questioning things and going, how can we improve this? I love it.
Which is awesome that they're doing that. Do you feel like, how old are you?
55.
55? Okay, so I'm 40.
Double nickels.
Double nickels. So for those of you listening, nickel is 5 cents.
Those of you that have never had coins in your hands before, oh my
No
word.
change. No, I'm just kidding. But okay, I feel like I'm going to say like my grandparents' generation. So my grandma's 88.
Yeah.
And I feel like she was like, it's okay to question things. But I definitely saw my grandpa was like, do not question things. You fall in line.
Absolutely.
But I feel like it's trickling down where people are like, but why?
And it is so good.
And there's less pushback.
Yes. That's why originally when I started seeing our society get more and more open, of course, because I was in a religion that taught you there was one way to do things, it was a little triggering. And now I'm like, dang, yes. Like everybody can express how everybody wants to be. That's really how we were designed here. And also, we have 8 billion people or whatever, however many people, and 8 billion of us see life differently. So why should we have anything that keeps us in a box? Why should we have education that we only learn one way? And we're starting to see that morph, right? Why is healthcare one way, right? Like religion. I'm so grateful. My family's very, very religious, and they love it. And I love that for them.
Yeah.
I love that for them. They have learned to evolve and love me unconditionally. They're still working on it. And to me, it's a richer relationship because now they don't love me because of what I do. They love me for who I am. That's a way deeper love.
My mother-in-law and father-in-law are very LDS, so they're Mormon. Right now, they just got to Phoenix and they're doing a mission.
Yeah.
And I just like look at how happy they are and how excited they are about that. Like, I don't understand it whatsoever, but I'm like, that is so amazing that they're so happy.
I agree. I love that just as much as a man learning to love dressing like a woman. Like, why should either one of those be like, you can do this, but you can't do that? I love, like, I'm not going to demonize my mom who goes to the temple 3 times a week, and she loves it. It provides peace and structure and safety for her. Go, Mom, go.
During COVID, I would go over and get my grandma's iPad so she could watch church because it made her happy. Yeah. And I think that's a lot of it too, is I would say even our generation, like the parent age generation, I feel like we're also just willing to accept both things. We're like, that's so awesome that that brings you joy. And then your kids are doing this other thing over here. And you're like, that's so awesome that it brings you joy.
Yes.
As long as you're not harming yourself.
Yeah. And I think it takes us away from the very thing that brings us all down, which is that shame. That's really the core of addiction, right? Shame. Thinking that there is some part of us that is broken. And so we're numbing to cope with the feeling of shame, the feeling of guilt, the feeling of disconnection. I'm just watching this new evolution of generation, like our kids, and they're coming in and they are not okay with discrimination. They are not okay with segregation or, and I'm being very generalizing right now, right? But I'm just saying, as I'm listening to these kids and watching what they're doing and having them question and start being okay with the way they are doing things, and it doesn't have to look like this other person's. That's where I think we're going to evolve into really, really cool. I think our society is going to get more beautiful, more evolved, more rich, more. And I think we're going to see more and more creations because you and I'm way older than you, but
you're 15 years.
That's a lot though. If you think 1970 was when I was born, right? Like
I was born in 85. Yeah.
Okay. So huge differences even in 15 years from 85 to 2025. Holy moly. I remember getting stuck in my car on the side of the road and hoping that someone stopped to get me.
Yes, I remember one time we broke down driving to Delta, Utah, which is the middle of nowhere. And my mom had this Camaro. It was that brown color. You can see it in your head, can't you?
I can totally.
Like the fins. Yeah.
Yes.
And I remember it broke down and we just sat there and waited for an hour before someone came by. And then we got in the vehicle with this person and rode with them to our destination.
This was our life. I was pregnant 9 months. I kid you not, with my very first baby. We were coming back. We lived here in St. George during that time. We went to Las Vegas for some sort of family meal. Coming home at 11 o'clock at night, the timing belt broke on our car. If you know anything about timing belts, you're not going anywhere, right? I'm 9 months pregnant with my first baby in the middle of nowhere, Nevada. And we are stranded in that car for 8 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Until someone finally pulls over. I'm having a panic attack. What if I have my first baby in the car? You know what I mean?
That would have been cool.
No. No, that would not have been cool.
I was thinking of this really awesome story. You're like, and then we had the baby, and then I wandered through the desert, and
Dan bit the umbilical cord with his teeth.
Yeah.
And
we met a coyote.
And we threw the placenta. We threw it in the desert and something grew. No, that didn't happen. But the guy stopped and said, I was stranded for almost a day in this desert. And I decided anytime I saw anybody stranded on the side, he'd stop. But it just goes to show now what would we do? Just pull out our phone and we're good. We're not stranded. Our life is getting easier, which allows us to have more time for unlimited creation if we'll tap into that aligned space.
Ooh, that was powerful right there. Mm-hmm.
That's the key. And all these tools that I'm showing on my program are just ways to get back into alignment. That's it. You can use whatever you want. I just think it's really showcasing what is true and possible. We've seen so much technology and improvement in our life. You just wait.
Even AI has made.
It's amazing.
I love it for creativity because I'm like, I have this idea and it just helps fill in those steps it takes to execute the idea. Especially online with like online content and stuff.
I even, for relationship things every once in a while, be like, walk me through this. And there's just this beautiful, like, always her response is so beautiful and so poignant. And here, I've even asked her, are you giving us a blueprint for what we can actually evolve in? Like, I believe that we at some point could be that sounding board and be able to respond to someone without getting emotionally involved in it, without getting into the story. I think that we're seeing in lots of different ways what we can become if we will get out of our bullshit stories.
Okay, so real quick, because we got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
What episode are you like really looking forward to? What's coming out next?
Ooh, what episode am I really looking forward to?
I'm excited to hear the psychic one. I love that kind of stuff.
She is brilliant.
Who was it?
Like Crystal Perry.
I don't know
And
this person.
she is
Pull her up.
like, what is really fascinating is called the blossoming medium. And I'm actually excited for all 4 episodes. I'm excited for all of them, but I'm excited especially for the 4 we just filmed last weekend. We're really evolving into, I call it taking the weird out of woo 2.0, even though we're not going to say that on the show. Your listeners heard it from me, 2.0. It was about a medium. Nervous system regulation, because oftentimes our programming and our nervous system keeps us trapped into a state of being. So learning to navigate that. And then this art healing transformational retreat that she did. And the power of a retreat, the power of connection, the power of unfolding and having that time, talk about self-care. And I'm just trying to think of the last one that we did. Oh, stem cell regeneration and emotional processing. That was really cool. I did not think that one would be very sacred because it's very much in a medical facility. That was beautiful. What's really cool about these upcoming episodes is it's not a one and done like they were before. We're actually going back with them 30 days and some of them 60 days to actually see how it impacted their life.
Oh,
so
cool.
It's really cool. Yeah.
I love that.
So I'm really excited about all of those.
Awesome. We'll have her linked in the show notes, but YouTube, Taking the Weird Out of Woo. Instagram, Taking the Weird Out of Woo. Are you anywhere else?
TikTok.
Thank God. Thank God you said
I know,
TikTok. You know how I
know.
feel about TikTok.
I know. And I'm still trying to master that one. So I'm going to need your help, sister.
I love me some TikTok. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank
and
you.
big hugs. And thanks for sharing your beautiful soul with the world. And thank you for this big work that you're doing in the world.
Yeah, thank you for the big work you're doing, sister. I really think that all of us pulling our beautiful gifts together is what's going to make this world just fabulous.